What's up, guys? Jonas from Hufus here. First of all, excuse my voice. I got a terrible cold going on, so I might sound a little raspy through this whole thing, but I'm sure you can understand what I'm saying anyway. Today, we're going to do another fly tying video, and since it's brutal winter where I'm at, fly tying videos is what I can do. There's nothing really for us to do outside. It's, I think, -8 and feels like -31 or something right now outside. I'm not going outside shooting videos about hunting and stuff. And hunting season's basically over. All we can hunt now is crow and rapids. So next year and that, and hopefully spring will be here soon, and we can get out and do a bunch of fishing videos. So since we're gonna do fishing videos in the spring, might as well tie up a bunch of flies. And one of my favorite things to do is to take my kids with their little bubbers and my little 3-weight rod, fly rod, and go down and catch panfish in the spring. I love catching them in tub water. So I'll basically put a bubber and then just put little foam flies like this or this behind their bubber and on my 3-weight, and we'll just catch a bunch of panfish on tub water. And the kids love it. You know, it's fun. It's lots of fish to catch, and they're tasty. And it's fun to see them come up and grab the fly on the tub water instead of just waiting for the bubber to go down on a normal, bubber and hook with a worm. So we're going to tie one of these up today, and all I use for that is a sheet of foam. And I like the, there we go. I like the yellow for this one. You can do it in anything. I basically have enough foam for the next 3 lifetimes, I think. I just went on Amazon and bought a monster package of foam, and I can go nuts with all the foam flies I want to do without having to worry about it too much. I think that was like $9 for all that. So foam, I use a 140 for this because I like to be able to pull down a little bit when I gotta attach the foam to the fly. When I tie panfish flies, I use eagle claw flies. I'm usually a big fan of gamakatsu or mustard. That's what I use for carp, bass, all my saltwater stuff. But for panfish, they're not going to break the hook. I'm not going to pay 50, 60, 70 cents per hook. I'm going to go to Walmart and pay $1.10 or $1.15 for 10 hooks and then tie them up on these. So I like to use a size 8. And the first thing, and then I like these rainy rubber legs, round rubber legs a lot. That comes in sort of a sheet attached with a bunch of legs like this. And I'll show you in a minute why I like it like that compared to just pulling the little legs off, rubber legs like this. And you'll see why in a second. So let's get to the tie. Also red Sharpie for this one, super glue, and that's it. Super easy tie. I'm going to take you down to the fly right now. A lot of chatting. Sorry about that. But, look at that. Little buck tail on my shirt. Okay, so we got a size 8 hook here. I cut a little piece of foam like that. I like to give it a little point at the end. It's probably about 1.5 inches long. Just long enough to where you have it a little bit sticking off the back of the hook and then a little bit in front. This you're going to cut off in a minute. So our first things we're going to do after cutting this is just lay down a nice base thread on the hook. And this is basically, first of all, so we can glue the foam onto it so it sits nicely. And also here in a second, we're going to attach the foam with that. So snip the end, grab your foam, lay down to, I like to have maybe about, 1/4 inch or so off the back of the hook. And I go to probably 2/3 of in between where the gap of the tip of the hook and the eye. And that's where I will lay my thread down, put this thing on top. I'll squeeze it down around the hook and do 2 soft wraps. So now I do those wraps, I hold on to it and sort of tighten down. Give it another 2, 3 wraps around and then adjust the foam. So like to wrap it down tight now. There we go. Next thing to do, grab your rubber legs, and I like to pull these things, that's what I was talking about before. I like to pull them off in 2. So let me show you what I mean. Get these cut off. So where we have, as you can probably see there, there's actually 2 legs in this section. So I'll take about a probably 5-inch section and cut it in half. Now, I found that instead of trying to sit and put this on the side, I just basically put it halfway down the top, wrap down 2 wraps, 3 wraps, and then I pull it to the side instead of trying to sit and fight with having it on the side when I'm wrapping it. I do the same on the other side. 2 or 3 good wraps. Pull that thing over to the side. Now, what I like to do right here, so, is you can see that just sticks out like that. What I like to do now is I like to just dab a little bit of super glue on the top, just in between. Dab, 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 dab. And go for another couple of wraps. Don't have to tighten it now, because then you're moving the legs. And then, before I do the whip finish, I like to cut down the legs to about the size I want, just because it's easier for me to do the whip finish then. So I say maybe about an inch or so is where I want my legs. That's what I like. That way I don't get many false bites that they just come up and nip at the legs. Now I just do a couple of whip finishes. We got that glue in there anyway, so it doesn't have to be a bunch. And now you can see the fly's gonna start moving around. So what I do now, cut that. And then, this is why I laid that base down on the hook in the beginning, is that I will lift up the back and just apply a little bit of glue to the back of the hook. Now I like to take this and squeeze it around the back and just hold it for a little bit. Give it like 5, 7, 10 seconds, and there you go. So, pull those legs out. Now, I like when my body is, like you see the body's tapered in a little bit and then coming out in the back. Then all I gotta do now is cut, and I cut this right so the eye of the hook is still a little bit covered. That gives me a bit of a head. What I like to do with that is I like to color it a different color. So let's color that one red. So there we go. And then I like to color just the bottom of this thing just a little bit. Give it a little red dab. Just like so. So we got that done. Now is when I take the legs that I had before, like I said, they're in 2, and I just take my nails in and I just rip them apart like that. Like that. And like that. And I do that because I find it turns out a lot better this way than if I put them in separate. So here we got the fly, wibble legs all over. It's not pretty, but I'm telling you, these guys, these little flies right here, they're gonna catch you guys a bunch of bluegills on top water, and it's so much fun. So give it a go. As you can see, this one has a bit of a body, like at the end of it, you know, coming out. And if I look at the back, like so, sometimes I'll tie ones that I wrap around and don't really give an end, but I'll give him some stingers or whatever you want to call that, like there. Or I will tie one if I seems to get a lot of bites at the back of the fly without them hitting it. I'll tie them where the back is just up underneath the hook like that. So there's many variations of this you can do, and you just play around with it. I honestly believe you could probably just toss a couple of legs and a piece of foam and they're gonna hit it. But tie up a bunch of these for your kids if they're not fly fishing. Put them behind a bobber and maybe 2 feet of line or a foot of line, and just have them sort of reel it in, and they're gonna get hammered in the springtime, especially when the panfish are in beds. That's a really good time to do it. So a lot of chatting from me. Hope you guys enjoyed this video again. Again, sorry about my voice. This stupid cold is really bothering me, but got to get through it. So you guys have a fantastic one. Stay safe out there. Please like and subscribe, and we'll get to you with some other videos soon. Take care. Bye.